John Cena, Brock Lesnar. You can't talk about modern wrestling without mentioning these two guys. They're absolute titans, two of the most dominant forces we've seen in a generation. And for years, their rivalry in the ring gave us some of the most unforgettable moments in WWE history.
And if you just look at their resumes, they're practically mirror images of each other. Both multiple-time WWE champions. Both are certified main event draws that can sell out any arena on the planet. And yeah, both are absolute global icons. In the ring, it's hard to argue they aren't on the same level. But this is where the story gets really interesting. Because despite being equals in the squared circle, when you look at their bank accounts, there is a massive, and I mean massive, gap between them. So let's dive in and figure out what in the world is going on here.
All right, to really get a handle on just how big this difference is, we've got to look at the hard data. This is the tale of the tape, and trust me, the numbers tell a wild story all on their own. And there it is. Whoa. John Cena's estimated net worth is sitting at a staggering $80 million. Meanwhile, Brock Lesnar, a beast, a legend in his own right, is at about $25 million. I mean, look at that difference on the screen. That's not just a gap, that's a canyon. It immediately makes you ask, how is that even possible? Now, this table right here, this is where we get our first big clue. Look at the primary sources of wealth. For Cena, what's at the very top? Hollywood films. For Lesnar, it's his WWE contract and his UFC career. This little table is the key to unlocking this whole financial mystery. So let's start with the $80 million man himself. This isn't just about wrestling anymore. This is the story of how John Cena made a game-changing pivot from the main event of WrestleMania to the A-list of the global box office. $80 million. Just let that sink in for a minute. It's a truly incredible number. And look, his legendary WWE career definitely built a brand and laid the groundwork. But the lion's share of this fortune, it comes from his massive success outside of the wrestling ring. You know, he didn't just dip his toe in the water with acting, he dove in head first and became a legit movie star. We're talking huge roles in monster franchises like Fast and Furious. He was awesome in Bumblebee, and he totally stole the show in his own series, Peacemaker. He proved he could do action, he could do comedy, and that made him a very, very bankable star.
So here's the bottom line. Cena built a diversified empire. It wasn't just one thing. On top of the giant movie paychecks, his clean-cut, family-friendly image made him a magnet for all sorts of lucrative endorsements. And don't forget, even working part-time, the guy still moves a ton of WWE merch. He created multiple, powerful streams of income.
Okay, so now let's switch gears and talk about Brock. His strategy was totally different, but in its own way, also incredibly smart and successful. Lesnar didn't try to be a broad media star. Instead, he branded himself as the ultimate prizefighter, a special attraction unlike anyone else. And that strategy has paid off handsomely, to the tune of about $25 million. Now, I know that number looks smaller next to Cena's, but don't get it twisted. That is an elite, top-tier fortune for an athlete who has almost exclusively stayed in the world of combat sports. It's a huge testament to his unique drawing power. This quote really says it all. Lesnar's entire business model is built on mystique. He's not on TV every week, and that's by design. It means that when the Beast finally shows up, it feels like a massive event. And for that, he commands top dollar, multi-million-dollar paydays for just a handful of appearances. Nobody gets paid more per night than Brock. And this is what makes him so unique. He's not just a WWE guy. He's a legit former UFC heavyweight champion. How many people on Earth can say they've reached the absolute peak of both sports entertainment and mixed martial arts? His wealth is concentrated because he's the biggest, baddest man in any room or any ring he walks into. Okay, so now let's bring it all back together. We've seen Cena's path, we've seen Lesnar's path. It's time to answer the big question we started with. Why is there a $55 million plus gap between these two legends? It really all boils down to three key factors. First, the size of the playground they each decided to play in. Second, the specific career path they followed. And third, just how much they spread out their sources of income. Let's start with market size, because this is the real game changer. Think about it. The WWE and combat sports world is huge, no doubt about it. But the global market for Hollywood movies and streaming, it's just on another planet. It is exponentially bigger.
The maximum amount of money an A-list actor can make is just way higher than what a top-tier wrestler can earn. And that leads right into the other 2 points. Lesnar perfected the art of being a high-value specialist in his market, but Cena made the conscious decision to jump into that much larger market. He diversified his career across acting, endorsements, and merch. At the end of the day, that broader strategy was the knockout punch, financially speaking. So, after breaking down the numbers, the strategies, and the markets, it's time to declare a winner in this financial battle of the Titans. While both of these men are absolute legends and massive financial successes, in a head-to-head net worth comparison, there is a clear, undeniable winner. John Cena's strategic and successful move to Hollywood gives him the decisive financial victory. It wasn't just a career change. It launched him into a totally different financial stratosphere. And all of this leaves us with one final thing to think about. In today's entertainment world, where athletes are also brands, is being the absolute best in just one field, whether it's the wrestling ring or the octagon, is that enough to win the ultimate prize? Or is the real victory the biggest payday, found when you conquer entirely new worlds?